We're shortly going to go live. I want to do a discussion about the Marco Rubio speech, and we need to look at it and dissect it and its impact on people of color. And what do you think? We want to talk about it and see what does it say about the thought process of those who have used the doctrine of discovery that their ancestors have used since 1643 or 8, so thereabouts, or 1463 till date. It's very important that we have that discussion, and I wanted to really see what your thoughts are. Sorry about this. I'm just so share the broadcast, help us with more people. Let me see if I can get some more information out there. We're shortly going to go live, so just bear with me. I will be doing more broadcasts on here on a regular basis now. We're trying to get more active on the platform, so we do need your support. Every step you take in watching, every move you, any sharing, any sharing of the broadcast is greatly appreciated. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Please help us grow the platform. We do need your support. So I'm just going to be sharing the broadcast shortly. Let me just make sure I want to share it on many platforms. So please help us by sharing the broadcast to reach as many people as possible, so that this information goes reaches as many people as possible. It's very, very important that we do so, and we are grateful for you joining us, and those of you that will join us at some point. So thank you very much. Let me just go here. We're going to talk about things, and I will talk about other issues as well, but I'm just trying to get this information out. Okay, so I'm just gonna just bear with me as I share this. It's gonna take some time. We're gonna shortly start, and we're gonna listen to the speech in its entirety, so that we begin to get an idea of what it is that is saying, and what is the likely impact of such a speech. That's the question that I want to ask. Why are we, as African leaders, should really dissect this? We shouldn't. Anybody with having those kind of mentality, they should not be in our midst. They shouldn't be in our. They should not have any. So we shouldn't allow them to have any space whatsoever to speak to or to communicate with us in any way, shape, or form. So I'm just really keen to share this. I've been away for a while, but I'm back, and I'm hoping that this is something that many can relate to, and I'd love to hear your views as you are watching. Of course, you are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll come and see if I can share it some more as I go along. We're shortly just going to begin this broadcast, but as you're watching, please, if you can, share. Help us share the broadcast. Help us reach more people, because it's important. We are really here to talk about important information, so that we can grow and learn and really be alert. For so long, Africa has ignored, has not even thought about or wondered about the likely impact of decisions made far away in foreign lands that has a negative impact on our lives, because we've just been so conditioned to not think about things. We've been conditioned to only listen to and accept whatever we've been told about who we are. And now, time has now come where we need to change that mindset totally. So you will be hearing the speech. I'm hoping you will be hearing the speech. I'm trying to test it out. Yeah, you will hear that speech by Marco Rubio, and we aim to dissect it. I will read some excerpts from that speech as we go along as well. But first, of course, I want to just make sure I'd like you to subscribe to us on YouTube, on TikTok, on Facebook, and help us grow the platform. Okay. Just give me a minute or so until we get this right. So now make sure it's working. Happy Monday to you all, by the way. It's a pleasure to have you join us. We do need to really look at things from a very different point of view now. We can't allow those who colonized us to continue to, they are attempting to recolonize Africa. And that's the danger of what's going on. An attempt is being made to recolonize Africa. When they say they want to actually come and help us, and this goes to what is going on in Nigeria. A lot of people will not, it will go over a lot of some people's heads when we say this. They will think, oh, this one is just being, but you have to read, it's all about symbolism. It's really all about symbolism. Sorry about this, I'm going to make sure I get it right, so it works. So just bear with me. Okay. Just one more time. So, yeah, as you're watching, please subscribe to us on YouTube and on TikTok. Help us reach more people. I'm hoping to be able to do this broadcast, in quick time. Okay, so that's back. So we got that sorted out. Now we're gonna save this down as. Sorry about this. Just give me a minute. Just trying to make sure. As you're watching, please, we'd really I'd be very grateful if you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Help us reach more people. We do need your support, and we appreciate you joining us as ever. We have, like I said, we would like to grow the platform, and I'm hoping that in the coming months you will see that there is a constant interaction with yourselves, and we welcome suggestions as to how we can make things, improve things on the platform. So don't forget to give us thumbs up as you're watching. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. So let me just put this somewhere, then we can begin the broadcast shortly. Here we go. So I hope you had a great weekend, Saturday, Sunday, yeah, I hope you did, connecting with family and friends, and yeah, it was pleasant. Yeah, it's been cold this end, that's for sure, since I've been back in the UK, and it's only now that I'm able to get around and do a few things, and which I'm thankful for now that I'm able to do. So, but like I said, okay, I don't know what happened there. Just give me a minute. We're trying to find the information which I just. Okay, got it now. Okay, so that is going to be on the side, and then I will play the video itself. Let me make sure I line up the video. I want to make sure you have the video to hand as well, and that way when we talk about it, it sort of makes a lot of sense. So we'll be watching the video on the side, and I may stop the video and discuss at any given time, because I think it's worth looking into. Let me make sure I put the headphones on to just check what has been said. Can you see? Can only make sure you can hear me? 1 2 1 2. Can you hear me? Testing 1 2. Testing. Okay. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay. Yeah, you can test. You can hear me good. Okay. So now we are going to go into it. Here we go. Oh, what up? Okay, just give me a minute, please. I don't know what happened there. We seem to have lost some connection. But as we all know, I have been talking about certain things. The situation in Nigeria is connected to what is going on in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, the Alliance of Sahel States. Of course, a word quickly with the people, with the lives being continuously lost in Nigeria. We may touch on that later on in the broadcast because it's very important. But the West are only interested, in exploitation of African resources for the benefit They're not interested in improving the lives of millions of Africans from whom they exploit the resources to improve the quality of life of their citizens. It is time that we get African leaders to focus on ensuring that the quality of the lives of their citizens in their own country using their own resources is their main priority. So let us continue in that vein. Let me check something quickly here. So I'll just put something in, then we can begin. So just bear with me. Okay, what's the time? 14:07. Okay, we're good for time. It's just been a bit so you will see the Marco Rubio speech is you will see why it is an imperialist speech, and we shouldn't be afraid to call it out for what it is. We shouldn't be afraid to call out bigotry. It is very important that we state what is being and expose this kind of bigoted thinking, making no apology for the hurt caused to millions of people, and is still hurting millions of people till date. So let me see. Okay, I'm just gonna put that in there quickly. Just give me a minute. Okay, I hope you can hear me loud and clear. Do let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, so 1 minute, please. I'll be back in a second. Let me just make sure I get this right. Okay. Okay, all right. Just give me a minute. Okay. Okay, so we're just gonna get that back. Okay, we're back. Good. Okay, just get that there. Okay. Okay. So I'm just gonna do this. Okay, so we can begin. No, is that correct? Oh, no, we don't want that. Oh, we do not want that. Council, I just realized I was about to go live, then I realized it's on a different platform where I don't speak. We speak a different language. So we're gonna switch accounts. So just bear with me. I just realized I almost did it, but I had to check. I was looking at the information. I was like, something is not right, but that's okay. We are gonna shortly switch over now, which I'm doing. Just bear with me. And I've got an excerpt from that speech now, which I'm going to read. Then I will read it. Then you'll watch it as well yourselves, and you can decide for yourself if that sits well with you. I'm sure it will not sit well. I'm sure we are going to have severe restrictions and concerns about what is being said in that speech, and rightly so, in my opinion, rightly so. Because it is not right. It cannot be right that somebody can make a speech like that without regard for the place in which the people that has obviously negatively been impacted by the actions of those who carried out this unspeakable acts against the citizens, against natives. So it's very important. Okay, I cannot find that book. Is it here? No. Okay, I'll have to find it. It is somewhere. I've used it, but anyway, I'll come back and look at it better next time. So just give me a minute, please. Okay. So let me just go. Just put it there. Okay, go live. Greetings and welcome to Citizen AI, the platform where we speak truth to power. Those of you joining me on YouTube, thank you very much. Thank you for your understanding. And those of you who are going to be joining me on TikTok or who already joined me, I'm really grateful. Just bear with me We will get this sorted out. Sometimes these things happen. It's okay. So we're back. Welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Please do me a favor. Could you consider subscribing? Can you subscribe to my platform on YouTube right now? Those of you on YouTube watching me, I'd really be grateful. I'd really like you to subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Help us grow the platform. Help us reach more people. We'd really like your support. Just bear with me, please. You can hear me. Don't worry, the pictures can do things sometimes, and we'll be back. I'd really like you to just do me a favor, which is to just help me grow the platform. Join us. Help us reach more people. We would really like your support. Okay, don't worry. Okay, good. Okay. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 sec. So we are going to talk about Marco Rubio's speech. We're going to read it. We're going to read excerpts from it. And I want you to, I'd like to hear your views on what you've heard thus far, what you will hear. Yeah, good. Okay. So please tap on the screen and share. Help us grow the platform. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'd really like you to help us grow the platform, both on YouTube, where we currently are live right now. Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We are live. And we would really like you to help us by subscribing. Very important that we hear from you and you join us and you help us grow the platform. We are very, very grateful for your continued support. So help us reach more people. Tap on the screen. Let's grow the platform. We are back again. Apologies, I wasn't able to come yesterday. But sometimes, one or two things, and I couldn't really get there. So please tap on the screen and share. We are going to talk about this particular topic here. So those of you who are watching, you're going to see something. The Imperialist speech by Marco Rubio. We need to dissect that. And there's a reason why I will explain to you shortly. Let me go into, I'll read you an excerpt from that speech, because we need to really understand what has been said and what is the implication for us, as Africans, as melanated people, not only in Africa, but around the world. As you all know, and we need to state this, the world is the first people of this planet have been and remain. The first people are melanated people, and the imperialist thinking totally ignore that fact. Please tap on the screen and share. Tap away. Help us grow the platform. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'd really like you to help us grow the platform. Hi to you all. Hi, Kabisco, The Truth, Hayuba, Ash. I wasn't able to get around and do a few things. I need to speak to one or few more people, quite a few people, and join some online broadcast as time goes on along. But it was hectic yesterday, and likewise has been today. But nonetheless, we need to have this discussion. Please tap on the screen and share. Help us grow the platform. Help us reach more people. Tap on the screen. And thank you for those of you who have been following and joining our broadcast. Now, let me quickly read you an excerpt from the Marco Rubio Imperialist speech. He said, Rubio found no place in his version of the US for either the presence of or the contributions of native or indigenous people of America who originally owned the country. The enslaved Africans upon whose labor the nation was significantly built, or the latter Asian, Caribbean, Mexican, and other Latin or Mexico contributors to the national strength of the USA. As far as Rubio is concerned, the USA is exclusively white and European, an integral component of the so-called Western red white civilization. These are some of the excerpts. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. We are part of one civilization. Western civilization, we are connected spiritually, we are connected culturally. Now, there was before, I so wish I had the book here. There is a book which I often refer to. It is by Van Septima, and it's called They Came Before Columbus. It is not here with me right now, but I will endeavor to get it the next time I do my broadcast, and I will read sections from it. So that book tells us, please tap on the screen and share. That book tells us that before Columbus, there were indeed melanated people in America. And what has subsequently happened is that those people welcomed people from Europe. They gave them some place to stay, and only for that land to be surreptitiously taken. And the people whom the land belongs to were then enslaved. Many people don't understand, and this is why we need to know our history. I have heard many African Americans speak now, with authority about the fact that before European Americans came to Europe, that there were indeed native melanated people on that in America. They lived there for thousands of years before Europeans came to America. And the Europeans subsequently came, then brought their people over. The Staten Island, that is the place from which many Europeans came. And many people in Europe go to Staten Island, I believe, yeah, where they actually were given immigration papers to go into America. This is a fact. This is not something to debate. These are facts that many people are not aware of. So when an European American is saying that I am American, you need to remind them it is in the name. It is kind of in the name. It says European American. Now, where is Europe? Europe is where you find places like UK, France, Germany, Spain, Italy. That is what is going on. So when they are writing this speech, and I mean, when you listen to this, it says, for United States and Europe, we belong together. No, that is not the case. Like I said, Europe is one continent, and America, North America, is another completely different location. To now equate the fact that you are on that place as saying we belong together is to disregard the history of the people of those lands who were there originally. Greetings and welcome to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak to the power. Please do share. Let me read you another excerpt, then I will read, then we can watch the video and you will hear the speech, those of you on YouTube. Okay, so it says here, he also talks about that they mustn't apologize for the actions of their ancestors. Let me see. I want to just read that section to you, and you will hear it anyway. You will hear it. Let me see. Rubio found no place in the version of US. Yeah, so I read that to you. Let me just see. Okay, armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life, and that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to be the master of its own economic and political destiny. That's all well and good. But as we all know, I've said on this platform, Pope Nicholas VI wrote the doctrine of discovery, by which Portugal and I believe Spain went around all over the world and taking land from the people from whom the land, from the people who originally lived in that land, and enslaving them in the land, and then using them to work the land for the benefit of the of the Catholic Pope in Europe. So we need to state these facts, and we need to keep, when you say you're a Catholic as an African, then you don't understand the enormity of what that Pope did. The Pope wrote a doctrine of discovery to his fellow Europeans for them to now go to a foreign land to take it over. And that same Christianity that enslaved your own many African ancestors and and many black Americans in America. We often don't know this history. That is why it is so important that we question everything. The world as we know it today has been heavily influenced by that Pope Nicholas VI because of the doctrine of discovery that was in use by then, and you can hear from the speech by Marco Rubio, you will hear it shortly, where he is reiterating the same thing. Yeah, exactly. The Today Europe who came yesterday is telling black people they are America, not called Europe America. Exactly. So, but well, they may say that. They may say that they are, America, not called Europe America, European Americans. But the thing is, just look at the connection that Marco Rubio, even in the speech he makes. Let me read that bit to you so that you can understand in the speech. And that's the cognitive dissonance. They openly admit their connection, but they do not admit the genealogy of the fact that many Caucasians, in fact, all the Caucasians are in America, come from Europe. But you can hear it all over the speech. Let me give you an section here. Let me give you one place here. It says, again, I'm going to reiterate this one. Listen to this. For United States and Europe, we belong together. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. Well, what about the people that you met on that land? What about the black Americans that were there long before, the very people that Van Setima talked about? They came long before, they were there long before, oh goodness me, Columbus. They were there long before Columbus. And that is the point that is being made here. They were there long before Columbus. So when you say that United States and Europe belong together, what about the people, the original people of United States, the black people? Don't they have the say in this matter? Yeah, Kelly Saturday. Yes, when we will build one power, I agree with you, Kelly Saturday. We need to build, and that is it. And that is what Ibrahim Traore that you see behind me, that is what he's doing. That is why I always put his picture behind me. They are exactly doing that as we speak. The Alliance of Sahel States is designed to actually protect the whole of Africa. So, but initially, to be able to, the foundation for one African army is what we are seeing in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. And that is the very thing that the West don't want to happen. They want Africa to remain defenseless so they can exploit Africa. And we cannot accept that as Africans. And this speech, I am playing this speech again for many African leaders may not even have heard about this speech. But let us have a listen. Let's have a listen to the speech.
States of America, welcome Secretary of State Marco Rubio. You have the floor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We gather here today as members of a historic alliance, an alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was
the alliance that saved the world. Saved the world from what? From what? What did this alliance save the world from? You know, what did they save the world from? That's the question that we're asking. So when they're saying they're saving the world, save the world from what? But let's listen on. Sorry.
Before our predecessors first
represent the United States.
So let's listen again.
America.
Listen to the words said. Please
Welcome,
tap and share the
Secretary
broadcast.
of State Marco Rubio, you have the floor.
Here we go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We gather here today as members of a historic alliance, an alliance that saved and changed the world. You know, when this conference began in 1963, it was in a nation, actually it was on a continent, that was divided against itself. The line between communism and freedom ran through the heart of Germany. The first barbed fences of the Berlin Wall had gone up just 2 years prior. And just months before that first conference, before our predecessors first met here in Munich, the Cuban Missile Crisis had brought the world to the brink of nuclear destruction. Even as World War II still burned fresh in the memory of Americans and Europeans alike, we found ourselves staring down the barrel of a new global catastrophe. One with the potential for a new kind of destruction, more apocalyptic and final than anything before in the history of mankind. The time of that first gathering, Soviet communism was on the march. Thousands of years of Western civilization hung in the balance. At that time, victory was far from certain. But we were driven by a common purpose. We were unified not just by what we were fighting against. We were unified by what we were fighting for. And together, Europe and America prevailed. And a continent was rebuilt. Our people prospered. In time, the East and West blocks were reunited. Okay. A civilization was once again made whole. That infamous wall that had cleaved this nation into two came down, and with it, an evil empire. And the East and West became one again. But the euphoria of this triumph led us to a dangerous delusion that we had entered, quote, the end of history, that every nation would now be a liberal democracy, that the ties formed by trade and by commerce alone would now replace nationhood, that the rules-based global order, an overused term, would now replace the national interest, and that we would now live in a world without borders where everyone became a citizen of the world. This was a foolish idea that ignored both human nature, and it ignored the lessons of over 5,000 years of recorded human history. And it has cost us dearly. In this delusion, we embraced a dogmatic vision of free and unfettered trade, even as some nations protected their economies and subsidized their companies to systematically undercut ours, shuttering our plants, resulting in large parts of our societies being deindustrialized, shipping millions of working and middle-class jobs overseas, and handing control of our critical supply chains to both adversaries and rivals. We increasingly outsourced our sovereignty to international institutions while many nations invested in massive welfare states at the cost of maintaining the ability to defend themselves. This, even as other countries have invested in the most rapid military buildup in all of human history and have not hesitated to use hard power to pursue their own interests. To appease a climate cult, we have imposed energy policies on ourselves that are impoverishing our people, even as our competitors exploit oil and coal and natural gas and anything else, not just to power their economies, but to use as leverage against our own. And in a pursuit of a world without borders, we opened our doors to an unprecedented wave of mass migration that threatens the cohesion of our societies, the continuity of our culture, and the future of our people. We made these mistakes together. And now, together, we owe it to our people to face those facts and to move forward to rebuild. Under President Trump, the United States of America will once again take on the task of renewal and restoration, driven by a vision of a future as proud, as sovereign, and as vital as our civilization's past. And while we are prepared, if necessary, to do this alone, it is our preference and it is our hope to do this together with you, our friends here in Europe. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. America was founded 250 years ago, but the roots began here on this continent long before. The men who settled and built the nation of my birth arrived on our shores carrying the memories and the traditions and the Christian faith of their ancestors as a sacred inheritance, an unbreakable link between the old world and the new. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We are bound to one another by the deepest bonds that nations could share, forged by centuries of shared history, Christian faith, culture, heritage, language, ancestry, and the sacrifices our forefathers made together for the common civilization to which we have fallen heir. And so this is why we Americans may sometimes come off as a little direct and urgent in our counsel. This is why President Trump demands seriousness and reciprocity from our friends here in Europe. The reason why, my friends, is because we care deeply. We care deeply about your future and ours. And if at times we disagree, our disagreements come from our profound sense of concern about a Europe with which we are connected, not just economically, not just militarily. We are connected spiritually, and we are connected culturally. We want Europe to be strong. We believe that Europe must survive, because the two great wars of the last century serve for us as history's constant reminder that ultimately our destiny is and will always be intertwined with yours. Because we know.
Wow. Please, I would like you to notice the faces of many of the people who are in that broadcast. I'd like you to notice that majority of the people who are on that broadcast, they are Europeans. Now contrast that with America. America is a land where there are, mixture, more than Europeans, in America. But yet, here is an attempt to present America and Europe as one and the same, without understanding that before European Americans came to America, that Americans, black Americans, were already there. So, and that is the imperialist idea, that they have the power, that is openly stating that they have imperial power over everybody else in America. And that is why this speech is important. And that's why I am stating that the African leaders need to listen to what is being said. Look into how they are stating what they're stating, and understand that this is not something that we should support nor accept. I do apologize for the pictures in the background being a bit somewhat unstable, but I'm trying to rectify that. Here we are. So we are back with that. So yeah. Oh, goodness me. So it's going off. But anyway, I'll carry on as much as I can. I don't quite know why I'm having this problem. It hasn't developed before, but it seems to be giving me issues. But anyway, so here is why. Just look in that. If you look at that picture in the background, the people who are likely in that room, they are Europeans. So it is, and it actually tells you, by seeing that, you now know that they are Europeans. The fact that somebody moves across from one land to another land and then takes over that land and then and it maltreats the people, That is the clearest evidence that they are connected. They are connected. Exactly, Fanny Lou, a hellfighter. It is totally unacceptable. Well said. Akalamagbo, greetings. So we have to be very, very cognizant and aware. I do apologize for this somewhat thing that is becoming a problem. It seems as though when I try and put the picture, it seems to just not accept it. So, but anyway, just bear with me. It doesn't matter. We will I'll carry on. Let's carry on. Let's listen now a bit more.
Because we know that the fate of Europe will never be irrelevant to our own. National security, which this conference is largely about, is not merely a series of technical questions. How much we spend on defense or where, how we deploy it, these are important questions. They are. But they are not the fundamental one. The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is, what exactly are we defending? Because armies do not fight for abstractions. Armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to always be the master of its own economic and political destiny. It was here, in Europe, where the ideas that planted the seeds of liberty that changed the world were born. It was here, in Europe, which gave the world the rule of law, the universities, and the...
Please, before Europe had universities, there were universities in Timbuktu in Africa. There were universities. Salamander University in Spain was created by the Moors. So you see, we need to really begin to challenge this this idea, this negative and false idea that universities were something that was the preserve of the colonials. No, we as Africans, the Moors in Spain at the time, they ruled Spain for Europe for 700 years. So unless we begin to take control of this kind of discussion and actually counter these things, this is actually quite harmful, and it's to justify an injustice. Sorry about this. I don't know what's going on with this. But anyway, Allah, just bear with me. I'm going to come back to the picture thing. I don't know why it's doing that today. That's not really what I wanted to happen. But anyway, so you can see that what they are clearly doing is rewriting the history. We have the Timbuktu University. And I'm going to do something now on the screen. I am actually going to do that whilst I'm talking to you, because I don't like to just speak alone. Timbuktu University, one of the oldest in the world. Let me see. One of the oldest in the world. Let me just see. Yeah, they have the idea that Africans can't read or write or speak, or black people can't. But we're at the beginning of civilization. We are literally the beginning of civilization. And unless we... goodness me. What's going on with this thing today? I don't know why it's doing this. Unless we challenge these things head on, this kind of... and that's why I keep saying we need our own media. Timbuktu. Just give me a minute, please. I'm just doing it as you're seeing on the screen. So just bear with me. Just give me a minute, please. So I'm just trying to get the information to you. There you go. So I need you to know this kind of information. You will never hear them say this. We must challenge everything that they tell us. Because you heard him say, oh, universities, they mentioned that. But Africa is the birthplace for civilization. you know, and we need to be very, very clear that what they are doing and what they are, oh goodness, I'm going to just leave it. I have to just leave it without that. So it is distracting somewhat. You would have, I do apologize for those of you on TikTok for the picture that is just not stable at the minute. I'm trying to fix it, but it seems to be quite unstable. I'm going to try and work out why that is. I might have to reinstall the software, and they may have to be the problem. That may be the problem actually. So, like I said, so going forward, you can see now on the screen, and this is why I keep saying, can African billionaires and whatever, can you set up? We are asking for, in fact, all Africans, we need our own social media. We need our own media space where we can share information that will help us grow, that will remind us of who we are. Because I'm going to read this to you. This challenges is assertion, and it mentioned universities, that it's as though Africa didn't have universities before Europeans came. We Africans taught Europeans so many things. They learned how to do things, bathe and eat and everything, and hygiene and all of that. But none of that is mentioned in what he's saying. And I'm not saying that as a slight, but I'm saying it as a matter of fact. Please tap on the screen and share. Help us grow the platform. We really do appreciate you. Please subscribe to Citizen NY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform and help us reach more people. History will repeat itself. America will soon won the rest of radical needs fight against those who control. I'm not quite sure what you're referring to there, but I can see that there is you can see we can see that the US want to maintain this Western control, and I definitely agree with you on that. Okay, so let me just read this to you. The University of Timbuktu, specifically the University of Sankore, is one of the world's oldest and most prestigious centers of learning, with roots in the Sankore Mosque, founded in 989 AD. It was a major intellectual hub in West Africa, hosting 25,000 students. Though it is often considered a precursor to modern universities rather than the oldest continuously operating degree-granting institution. So they won't tell you any of this. These are things that we need to share. We need to, it runs counter. Listen to that beat again. Let me listen to that beat again. I want you to listen to the beat. Here you go. Listen.
Because we know that the fate of Europe will never be irrelevant to our own. National security, which this conference is largely about, is not merely a series of technical questions. How much we spend on defense or where, how we deploy it, these are important questions. They are. But they are not the fundamental one. The fundamental question we must answer at the outset is, what exactly are we defending? Because armies do not fight for abstractions. Armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization that has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future.
So they have every reason to be proud of their history. And what is that history? The history is predicated on exploitation, the doctrine of discovery, of which they have taken land and continue to do so from those who were originally on that land, who have been there from year zero. So we have to be very clear about what is being said here. This idea that before, the idea of what is said about United States as it stands now, that before United States, it was a vacant land. And these are the kind of things we are talking about that we need to challenge collectively as Africans, or as in fact as foundational Black Americans and melanated people, even the Aborigines. We need our own independent media where we can share information about who we are, because a lot of what is being shared here is ignoring It is not acknowledging the existence of melanated people around the world. I'm not saying this out of hate. I'm saying the fact. The world has been painted by the likes of those who are writing this, the speech writers and Marco Rubio, is a world that ignores the very foundation of civilization itself, which is black people. And that is actually dangerous in a world in which exploitation has now become a way of life for certain people. And we need to speak truth to power. Okay, let's carry on.
And aims to always be the master of its own economic and political destiny. It was here, in Europe, where the ideas that planted the seeds of liberty that changed the world were born. It was here, in Europe, where which gave the world the rule of law, the universities, and the scientific revolution.
Did you hear that? They gave the world universities. No, you did not give the world universities. I just showed you. We need to speak our truth to power. We need to make sure we have our own media space. And I will even go a step further. The media was the first thing they used to really take our minds. One of the first things they used. Of course, we know that religion was another thing. The media, they started giving information. They took control of the information of the people they colonized. And they started inserting themselves into those spaces. I'm not saying this out of hate, please. Those who may watch this may think, oh, I am, here we go again. You've had this before. But we need to speak these truths to power. This revisionist thinking that they're doing to make you believe that before Europe became anything, that there was nothing, is simply not true. Before they formed America, that there was nothing on that soil. It is simply not true. So we have to be challenging all of this. And it is a dangerous thing for the minds, young minds of melanated people around the world. For if we do not have a record of our own history and the greatness of our ancestors and make sure that we tell that story from one generation to the next, these people, the likes of these people here, will continue to be spreading information that is actually running counter to the very reality and the very facts that we are trying to show and talk about today. Please share the broadcast. You are listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Okay, can you provide YouTube channel? Yes. Okay, I will provide it to you. Yeah, it is on it's the US Department of State. If you listen to the US Department of State, it's on there. It's Marco Rubio. I'll read that. Secretary Rubio. Let me see. In fact, I will do better. I will send it. I will put the link in there for you as I speak right now. So let me see if I can share that quickly. I'll copy that and I'll share that to you so that you can also go have a quick look yourself. Because the thing is, we need to share this critical information. It's very important that we share it. In fact, we need to share that, because if we don't do it, so I'm putting that across. So that's for you, those of you who are on YouTube. Please do share the broadcast, subscribe, hit the notification button. Sinovia Ridley, thank you very much. I appreciate you. Please tap on the screen and share, and subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth power. Please share this platform, both the TikTok and YouTube and Instagram and Facebook. Share with family and friends. This platform is aimed at ensuring that Africans, Black Americans, melanated people around the world will be able to get a truly unbiased information about who they are. Indeed, to remember who we are. Because in remembering who we are, we will build a brighter future collectively for the coming generation of melanated people around the world. For far too long, those who has oppressed the people in America, in Caribbeans, in Africa, in the global south generally, those who have oppressed us, have been the people telling our own stories. We can no longer allow this to stand. And I do hope that many people, if you are on the African continent and you're watching me right now, please go to my YouTube channel and share this to your governments. Because many African leaders are often unaware of the very, very imperialist thinking of the same people that they are going to sit across in a room and sign contracts with to say they will do something. These people will now come and say, we are going to do something for your people. We are going to engage into a memorandum of understanding. If we understand the words, if you read between the lines of what Marco Rubio is saying, no African nation would have anything to do with America as it stands right now. There will be no interaction. But because oftentimes many African nations, many African leaders they take the words of this imperialist at face value. And oftentimes what they're doing is they will say one thing, and obviously to their target audience, and then they will say another thing behind once they get what they need. And keep in mind, their aim and their objective has always and remains exploitation, and they do not consider that they should apologize for the actions that they've done. See, somebody, listen, they said the gifting is suspended and live visibility restricted. The behavior is not in line with our policies. Gifting is suspended in this live. Reason, reproduce content, learn the live motivation. Okay, so they don't want me to read, they don't want me to share the words he said. Okay, I am talking about it, but they are saying now I cannot even share it. You can watch it all, you get the gist. I don't need to share it anymore. They don't want me to share that. And it's a way for us to, how else can I talk about this? Anyway, so let me read the words to you. I'll read some words because now they've suspended gifting on the platform, and they've reduced the reach of this platform yet again. I ask you, what I've done now, have I not engaged and stopped the broadcast and explained things in between? That alone should clarify that I have been explaining, I've been using it as a tool of discussing what is going on. Nana, you're up here. Thank you very much for the gift. I appreciate you. I really do appreciate you. Let me bring you on board if you wanted to say a few words. I'd love to hear from you because you can see now that the broadcast is obviously being interfered with by by TikTok. And as you know, TikTok America they've actually bought the western part of TikTok, I suppose. And so they are having a lot more restrictions and things because they don't want us to speak truth to power. But let me read some keywords on the word that is said since they've done that. Let me read some keywords because now, obviously, they don't want me to share the video of the things they said, but I'll read some sections of it. So, I'll just read some few lines, and so you get a sense of why we need African leaders to wake up. Anybody having imperialist with imperialist mindset is a threat to the development of Africa. Any European or European American with this clear display of imperialist thinking and justification for the injustice that they've imposed on billions of people around the world should not be the people that any African nation interacts with, signs any memorandum of agreement with on anything. in any way, shape, or form. Let us read this. Here we go. These are some of Rubio's exact words. For the United States and Europe, we belong together. We are part of one civilization, Western civilization. We are connected spiritually and we are connected culturally. Let me just add, in case Marco Rubio didn't understand. The land of America had people, melanated people on it, that had their own culture, their own spirituality, their own civilization. And those were hampered, interfered with by the imperialist that he purports, that he's trying to speak well of. And we need to be very clear. You're very welcome, Synovia Ridley. Please do share the broadcast, help us with more people. This platform is geared to empowering Africans and melanated and Black Americans and Aboriginals of Australia and many melanated people around the world that have been suppressed. Our voices has been silenced, and those who oppressed many parts of melanated kingdoms now purport to speak for us, and we cannot accept that. Let me make a little bit progress. Thank you very much. Let me just quickly say thank you to Nanayo reply. So I'm going to say thank you there. Please give the platform, and please, I would love you, those of you watching me on TikTok, could you consider subscribing to me on YouTube also? I'd very much really like that. At work, okay, that's okay, Nanayo. Thank you very much. I'm glad you are listening. Now, so I'm going to read some more. I'll read some more. It says here, armies fight for a people. Armies fight for a nation. Armies fight for a way of life. And that is what we are defending. A great civilization has every reason to be proud of its history, confident of its future, and aims to be the master of its own economic and political destiny. All of this is all well and good, and I don't have a problem with that as an aim. I don't have a problem. Where I have concerns is that the very people that are talking about armies fight for people, armies fight for a nation, armies fight for a way of life, they have used those armies and continue to use their army to oppress melanated people in the land that they stole. They stole land, and they are not prepared to make any apologies or compensate for what they steal. Instead, they want to rightfully, they want to justify their acts of thievery, gangsterism, by standing and doubling down and saying, oh no, we are protecting what our ancestors did. I said it moments before at the beginning. The doctrine of discovery was perhaps one of the things that they created independently of the millions, the uncountable stuff that Imhotep and others, melanated people, have done for human civilization. Their addition to that is this doctrine of discovery under this Pope Nicholas VI, where they now write themselves the power to go and take over people's land, to call those same people infidels on their land, and then enslave them in their land and force them to be working on the land for the benefit of the people who came to steal, pillage, enslave, and forced to practice a religion that is against that goes against their own spirituality. I could go on. I'm sure you get the drift. So this is what we have to. Raja Khan, thank you very much, Raja Khan. Thank you for your comments yesterday. I really appreciate you. So we have to be very, very clear. This speech, ladies and gentlemen, I would have played the speech again, but they are being told that me replaying the video, even though I am stopping it, I haven't played it in its entirety. You know, I have not played the video in its entirety. I've been using it as a basis of discussion to explain that the thought process of the imperialist that Marco Rubio represents, and why we need to read between the lines. They were sending a message to themselves, you know, to actually say we are justifying our actions. We mustn't apologize. Our ancestors over 450 years ago started this imperialism, and that is all we know, and we will continue with that imperialism, as that is a very without that we are nothing. Without that, let us read on what it said. Let me read on again. And it says here, for 5 centuries, you see that? I said 450 years. Isn't it close to 5 centuries? You see that? Before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Its missionaries, its pilgrims. You see that? Its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers. So they are admitting barefaced that they've gone around the world, taking over people's lands. Those are his words. Pouring out from its shores to cross oceans, settle new continents. What do you mean new continents? Just because you haven't been on a place doesn't mean that it hasn't been already occupied. Just because you haven't been on a place does not mean, you know, it is very good for young people what Western imperialism has done to Africa and Asian people. I'm not sure what you mean there, Raja Khan. Do you mean you support imperialism? I'm sure that's not what you mean. I'll add you. Let me just add you. Actually, I think I'll bring you in, Raja Khan, if you wanted to speak, because I think it's important to understand. I wanted to get a sense of what you mean there. I don't think that's what you meant, because it's I've brought you on before. Let me see if I can add you now. Are you there? No, you're not there. Okay. Let me see if I've sent you. I'm just going to check quickly. So bear with me. So the reason I'm saying is we need to begin to read between the lines. We have to read between the lines. Please tap on the screen. Help us grow the platform. We welcome gifts. Thank you, Nana, you're up here. We appreciate you for the gift. And please, as you're watching us on the platform on TikTok, on YouTube, we also welcome gifts. If you want to give us super chat, we welcome that as well. Help us reach more people. We want to grow our platforms, and I will be telling you a bit more detail about plans that we have to go to Burkina Faso. We actually want to have a group of people, many people, to come on a trip to us. I've got contact. We may possibly, as a group collectively, it is very likely that we can actually get to meet the team around Ibrahim Traore. Who knows? Maybe even meet him himself. The information that I've got thus far is that Ibrahim Traore and his team, they are aware of the great work we've been doing on this platform to raise awareness about the amazing work he's been doing to renew his nation, to empower Burkinabes to benefit from their own resources, to protect them, to provide infrastructure like roads, water, light, schools, bridges, healthcare, safety, security, you know. Yeah. Sinovia Ridley said, we as a community must come together for our survival. We have Mother Africa now, for now. But if we do not wake up and fight against the colonizers, we will be forced into slavery again. Thank you very much. You deserve a round of applause for your statement. And that is exactly the reason why I do programs like this. Thank you so much, Sinovia Ridley, on YouTube. Please subscribe to Citizen AY, hit the notification button, give us a thumbs up. Help us reach more people. We do need to do this work. If we are silent in the face of their clear subterfuge and revision of the facts, we will end up being recolonized. And that is why I am saying that those of you on TikTok, please subscribe to me on YouTube. Join me. And not only that, this particular broadcast is going to be on YouTube. Now, you won't have the video visuals like you have as on TikTok now, but you have the video and the discussions and the words spoken. And you can share this to all African leaders that we are now faced with a very likely possibility of this bunch of marauders, attempting to recolonize us yet again if we fall asleep at the wheel. Please tap on the screen. I know my numbers are severely down on TikTok because TikTok have limited the people watching me. It's okay. If it's only 2 people that are on now watching me, that's fine. I understand. But they are trying to silence us. They don't want us to speak truth to power. And this platform, we stand on the truth. We speak truth to power. So that is why I'm saying, every time you share this broadcast, every time you see us live, share the broadcast. Please go ahead, share. Because what is going on, I'm going to try and get this to as many people as possible so that we can, get the reach up. Because what we are doing is only speaking truth to power. They don't want us to do that. And we are championing, we are standing up for us, for Africans, and for melanated people around the world. We have no voice of our own on the social media. We have no voice of our own on the social media. And that is not an acceptable place for us to be in. We need to build that. We need to make sure that as a people, that the information that we are allowed to impact our young in particular are information that we vet, that we tightly control, and we monitor. And we do not allow anybody to come with false narratives to yet again get us to accept what is totally unacceptable to us psychologically. This continues to be, yeah. Thank you. Yes, turn on your notification bell, please. Yes, please do share. Thank you very much, Sinovia Ridley. Please do share, subscribe, and turn on your notification bell. We really do need your support. Now, I'll read a bit more, then I'll come and talk to you about this initiative or the plan that we have now for going to Konate King, greetings, going to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger in the coming months. And I know we can do this. So I would need your support, and that's why I'm asking you, can you subscribe to my platform? Monthly subscription, cost of a cup of coffee, on both YouTube and on TikTok will mean that we can just put funds together and be able to focus on bringing more research and more educative discussions where we can empower ourselves with real knowledge. Good afternoon, greetings. So it is very, very important, the work we're doing here. It is important, and we are grateful for your support. So please consider gifting the platform, consider sharing the broadcast, consider making sure that our reach gets to many, many people. Like I said, we cannot, long time, Konate King, we can no longer trust or rely on the mainstream media for information. The information that we have been fed has been information that has disempowered us, that has made us believe the worst about ourselves, that has told lies about who we are, that has made us think that we haven't achieved anything, that has hidden the great history of our African and melanated ancestors across the world. So we cannot allow that to continue to stand as Africans. So to that end, like I said, Alliance for Scientists right now, they are being threatened. There have been attempts on all of the African, the Alliance of Sahel State leaders. There have been attempts, over 20 attempts on the life of Ibrahim Traore by the colonials. There have been attempts on the General Assimi Goïta of Mali. There have been attempts on General Abdurrahman Chiani of Niger. All because they are standing up for Africans. And they believe, as I do, that it is time for Africans to benefit from African resources. That Africa is for Africans. You notice in that meeting, if you look at the picture, the video, when they were clapping, they were all Europeans. There's nothing wrong with that. But what they are doing is when they come to a real African space, they are trying to get Africans to not unite and work together for African interests on the African continent. And they want Africans to serve their interests on the African continent. Let me say that again. They want Africans to serve imperial interests on the African continent. And that is to the detriment of 1.3 billion Africans on the African continent. We cannot allow that to happen. So we need to be doing this work, building and supporting platforms like mine, and make sure that our information reaches as many Africans as possible, sharing that knowledge, reading whatever they say, going and deciphering everything that these imperialists say, and interpreting it and explaining it from an African perspective. The African perspective has long been missing and has been cleverly prevented to be available. How is it that a continent of 1.3 billion people has no independent media? How is it that a continent of 1.3 billion people has no independent social media that is controlled by Africans, that is run for the benefit of Africans, that is sharing relevant information for Africans to know about themselves? But yet, these colonials are promoting their social media platforms on the African continent, knowing fully well that if you control the media space, you control the minds of the people. That is why I am speaking about this. I am being very, very clear. We need our own social media space run, controlled, and managed and funded entirely by Africans. We need that without a shadow of doubt. Yeah, also leave a comment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for that. Again, a round of applause for doing a bit of housekeeping for myself there, Sinovia Ridley. Thank you very much. I appreciate. Let me quickly give you a round of applause on TikTok as you speak. Thank you so much for that. I'm really grateful. Every little help that we can get is of course appreciated, and this is why we're saying what we're saying. We need to wake up. We can no longer rely on the very media of the imperialists for information about how we live our lives, because those informations will be geared to ensure that we continue to serve the imperialists for perpetuity, and we can no longer allow that. And that is why I am so proud of the great men you see behind. Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, General Chiani. They are standing up for Africans. They're showing us that there is nothing that we cannot achieve. The limitations that have been placed on their mind, the barriers have been put in place by the colonials, are falling away. In the very, very light, in the shining light of the great men of Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traore, the great men of Niger, General Abdurrahman Chiani, the great man of Mali, General Assimi Goita. They are showing that Africans, there is nothing that we cannot achieve. That mental ceiling has been broken, and we hope that many more Africans around the world will see what we can do when we unite, when we work together, when we focus on Africans benefiting from African resources. Now, that doesn't mean what I'm saying is that we should, lock out anybody who wants to do business with us. The business has to be done on our terms as Africans. And that's what I'm really reiterating. So please, as you're watching, consider gifting the platform. Subscribe to Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Gift the platform, because bring a lot of important information to the to many Africans, so we know our true history, and we are no longer bamboozled by the empty words of the imperialists that are there to only keep us enslaved on our own land yet again, just very much like their ancestors did. We cannot allow ourselves to be recolonized all over again after 500 years of the same mess. We need to prevent that. Not for myself, the coming generation. We need to arm them with important information. We need our own platform where we are going to protect their minds from this imperialist. We have to protect their minds. There is no protection for the mind of Africans, because the information that we are fed is the information designed to ensure we are subservient, and we need to break free from that. Okay, so let me carry on again. I'll read this bit where it said, for 5 centuries before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding its missionaries, its pilgrims, its soldiers, its explorers, pouring out from the shores to cross oceans, settle new continents, build vast empires across the globe. Vast. Again, I am going to have to do this. I need to go, and those of you watching me on YouTube, I'm going to go and do, I want to talk about the voyage, the doctrine of discovery, and because that is what he's talking about. So they settle vast empires. So they take over, you know. There are enough youth from across Africa for a strong, united military. I agree with you. And then also you added, we must stick together, just like the colonizers. Stick together by any means necessary. We must have our own African military. I agree with you. The journey often, for me, I agree entirely with what you said there. And again, round of applause for your forthrightness. And we need to speak truth to power. I'm really glad that, you know, you are speaking passionately about this, and we need to hear all our voices. We all have a role to play in building a better Africa, and indeed America, because many Americans are now waking up and understanding that they are from that land. They weren't brought in. All of them, there were many stories and things told by the colonizers. Many of them, they will not tell you about Walter Plecker, who was changing the label, who was reclassifying people who were on the land, who have always been there. So we need our own, to tell our own stories. We need our own armies, you know, that exactly. And we have to take care of our soldiers. Exactly. We absolutely have to take care of them. So let me quickly show you this doctrine of discovery. And I want many of you to understand it. Those of you that are Christians, you need to understand the doctrine of discovery was written by a pope. And that doctrine was what was used to take your land over. So when you say you are a Christian, what are you saying? What are you saying? I'd like you to understand, when you say that you're a Christian, do you know these facts? So before you say you are going to join any religion that is not of your own ancestors, have you done enough research to know that this religion hasn't actually in fact been the very tool that they've used to enslave your minds? Have you? So let me show you the doctrine of discovery. So I'll just do this. I want to make it smaller. Because of what I cannot play that video anymore, because they're saying I am playing a video where I am using it and I'm going against their policies. But I don't know how else to do it if I am trying to talk about the very topic, and it's a video in which he's there. It is a widely available video that is, you know, made freely available by the U.S. Department of whatever it's called themselves, you know. But anyway, be that as it may, we'll carry on. Okay, so the reason I'm stating this, we need to be very aware of the doctrine of discovery. Okay, now the doctrine of the discovery is a 15th century legal and religious concept rooted in papal bulls that authorized European Christians explorers to claim non-Christian lands and resources effectively and dispossessing indigenous people. So as an African, when you say that you are a Christian, I actually need you to understand that Christianity came to your shores to colonize you, to enslave you, to take your land, when they tell you to pray, are you aware what you are praying to? And indeed, when you are praying to their gods, is it not making you subservient to the people who told you to pray to their gods? Is it not? We need to ask fundamental questions of ourselves. And that is why I am doing this program. I'm just going to quickly carry on again with the planned visit trip to Burkina Faso. Now, I need support. I need your support. Subscribing to this platform on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, a cup of coffee, please. That would be something that would be of benefit, because we need about 20 to 30. We would like to go to Burkina Faso with 20 to 30 people. That's going to cost, that will take funding. So what we want to do is to go with a group of people and be able to visit Burkina Faso itself, maybe even Mali and then Niger. And in all those cases, be able to meet people who are close to the government, or even indeed meet the great men themselves, on ground, and be able to report up on the very things that they're doing on ground. The roads, the schools, the bridges, the healthcare, the safety, the security, everything that they're doing, to bring that to a wider audience, certainly on Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. So we need your support. When we say to you on all platforms, if you can subscribe to us for a cup of coffee, that would mean that we can focus on doing a lot more in-depth research and bringing that to you. We will be, and I'll have, I'm going to be on Substack as well, whereby we can have a one-on-one directly by email as well, at least as another outlet for direct communications. So I'll be bringing that to you as I go along, Yeah, okay. Like the saying goes, I was not born in Africa, but Africa was born in me. I have always known this as a child. No matter how American society tried to undermine my motherland. Well said. Exactly. Thank you very much. Thank you, Synovia Ridley. Now, so what I am saying to you is that we need to support right now. We must support the three men that you see behind me. I know many media are doing that work. Many people, social media, are doing a lot of that work. But we have to continue, and we need to be doing this religiously, because the West are intent on bringing the alliance of Sahel states down. This speech is to redouble the effort. They speak in code all the time. Let me go and show you what I mean again. So you heard them say, build vast empires extending across the globe. Well, those empires, they were built on the land of indigenous people that have been there long before the colonials came. Meaning that if you are going to build empires, you are going to enslave. And that is what he is trying to do by that message. Let me read out what to you again. It says here, it's missionary for 5 centuries before the end of the Second World War, the West had been expanding. Now, the only way to expand is to colonize, to force people against their will to do the things you need that they don't want to do, to enslave them, to force them to work their land for you. That is what the expansion is about. It's missionaries. Again, I told you about the church, this doctrine of discovery. It's missionaries, because missionaries they say they're coming to for their mission to help to promote their Christianity. When they're promoting Christianity, they are telling you on your own soil that you are infidel, that you must be enslaved, that they have the power because of the papal bull written by let me get that for you. Let me show you. I'll get that to you. 1493. So let me just make that. Yeah, So we're here, we are. So the papal bull Intercessora, issued by Pope Alexander VI on May 4, 1493, played a central role in Spanish conquest of the New World. The document supported Spain's strategy to ensure its exclusive right. Sorry about this. I'm hoping to come back. Ah, okay. Don't worry, it's just gone. It's gone rogue on me. But anyway, don't worry about the picture. Those of you watching, I apologize. I will bring it back. But let's carry on. So the reason I'm saying all of this, and please do share the broadcast. Please, African leaders need to understand that we cannot trust anything said by the colonials. They are imperialists intent on exploiting Africa over and over and over again. They don't view us as humans. They view Africans, black people as 3/5 humans that they can exploit, control, dominate, oppress, and so on and so forth. So and that's why you will see they use the words that they're using. Please tap on the screen and share. Help us grow the platform. Matra Chuchu, thank you very much. So let me just see if I can do something. So, like I said, the words that they're using, all over the world, before the Europeans went anywhere, there were melanated people. And that is an undisputed fact. Hence why, everywhere they've dug around the world, every land they've dug, they found bones of melanated people all around the world. Okay, you see Novia Ridley. I'd love that. Yes. Listen, get in touch with me and we will need to, so if you are all interested, get in touch with me and we will organize that and we will start, because anybody who wants to be part of this trip, just get in touch. 1 minute, please. I'm having some issue here. I'm trying to sort the camera out. It was stable and then it starts playing up. So just bear with me, those of you who are on TikTok. Just bear with me as I do this. So yes, Sinovia every day, I'll be in touch. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. And I view them as 3/5 human as well. Yeah. So we will talk. Listen, my number is on here. To get in touch, my number is +44. I'll write it on the screen so you can get in touch via WhatsApp and we can talk some more. Let me do that as I speak to you right now. Put that on the screen for you to be able to access and we can talk some more. And we need to get, maybe 20 or 30 people to go down there because we need to see the great work that is being done by Ibrahim Traore and the transformation that is going on that they just simply cannot start. So yeah, let me just see this. Okay, so I'll do this. Okay. So that's the number. So for Citizen AY. Okay, so and those of you who want to get in touch, you can on the same number as well. So it's there. Fantastic. So now I'm gonna close that down. And then just give me 1 sec. I think I've missed something here. Okay, we will get that picture up and running. I don't know why it's been difficult, but anyway. Okay, so I'll let that run for a bit. So I want to get the PayPal bull thing up and running. So just bear with me because there's still a little bit more that I wanted to do regarding the doctrine of discovery, which is very much a flawed thinking. Just give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. So yeah, there you have it. Yeah, you're very welcome. Yeah, thank you, Sinovia Ridley. So let us do that. Let us actually make that a goal. Again, please, we will need your support. I need, if you can you buy me, the cost of a cup of coffee is what the subscription would be. And the more that you do that, it gives me the ability to be able to now focus clearly on just giving us really important information, meaningful information that we can use in taking, taking decisions and actually being able to control what we allow our coming generation to listen to, and be in control of our continent for the first time ever. Well, and once again, sorry. So let me put this up. Let me just put this. I think I wiped doctrine of discovery. Okay. So there we go. And then I'm going to show you more. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So just to carry on with the discussion again, the mindset of the colonials has not changed for 500 years. It has been based on the doctrine that their ancestors left to them. The doctrine that, any land I go to, I can take it over. Nobody gave them the right to go to any land, any indigenous person's land, and take it over. They gave themselves that power. And that tells you that this is nothing to do with the Most High. This is something they gave themselves. So many Africans that are following these religions, you need to understand that. I'm not saying it out of hate. Again, please, it's not about hate. It's about understanding what's been done. If you don't understand what's been done and you're following stuff, anything blindly, Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. So it is very, very important that we can support this platform. And I really do need more and more people who are following me join me on YouTube. Again, I'm looking to see if I like 20 people, maybe more. If we can get together, organize, and we'll put the funding, get the funds in place so that we can actually go there. Again, like I said, the reason why we are promoting the Alliance of Sahel States is that this is an entirely African body built for Africans, for the benefit of Africans on the African continent. If the colonials, very much like Sinovia Ridley has said, if the colonials can unite to protect Europe and build, making sure that it serves the people, there is nothing wrong in Africans coming together, having an army, one passport, one currency, to protect and preserve things for Africans, So that is Issa. Thank you very much. Thank you. Those of you watching, please give the platform, help us share, tap on the screen. The more you tap, the more you help. And also subscribe to Citizen LY on TikTok and on YouTube. We do need your support. Please tap on the screen, share. Very, very important. So the reason we are saying what we're saying now is that to go to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger on this trip that we're planning, it is showing our support for a new body built by Africans for Africans on the African continent. And we serve as another arm of the news broadcasters, bringing information about the great work that they're doing in the Alliance of Sahel States. And we are going to, it will be very difficult for those who have nefarious ideas to silence them from keeping that information, away from Africans, because it will be by Africans for Africans on the African continent. And we can easily spot those who are not from Africa. They don't want us to have our own media to counteract the negative messages that they've been spewing about Africans. And also, don't forget, as we speak, the French and the US are circling around the Alliance of Sahel States to destabilize them, because they are concerned that they are not able to access the resources like they've been doing. And we need to raise the alarm, to sound the alarm, to let the world know what the West are doing. And unfortunately, they're even using, in my opinion, they're using Nigeria and Ghana as another part of their strategy to get into the Alliance of Sahel State to destabilize it, but they will fail. And we firmly believe in the Alliance of Sahel States. So please do get in touch. We need a lot of people to join this platform to be able to promote great African leaders. We have never been able to have 3 great African leaders together with the sole aim of ensuring that Africans, for the first time in however long, are now able to benefit from our resources. And that's the very thing that the imperialists do not want. That is why we need to call out the imperialists. Now let's carry on a bit. So it says here, built in 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus. Please, when they talk about age of Columbus, it is tied back to the Pope, Pope Nicholas VI. Pope gave the people like Columbus the power. They told them that you have the power to go to another place, colonize them. That is their story. The only story they know is how to go and colonize. And I'm telling you the foundations of their thinking. They are not talking about real civilization. They are there to talk about exploitation, oppression, domination. Nothing. It is barbarism rather than civilization, because you are forcing people of whom you have no contact, that you have no right to interfere with, to do what will benefit you at their expense, and to keep them in that perpetual state of servitude. That is why we need to speak out against imperialism. We have to speak out against it. Okay, so let me read on again. So it talked about, I'll read this bit again, and that's so we need to read between the lines, because when they're talking about Columbus, they are justifying by saying, well, Columbus did this. But Columbus, who gave Columbus the power to do this? Well, Pope Nicholas VI, with the doctrine of discovery, to justify the unjustifiable. They now say, okay, Columbus now set out. And then they fund that process. So they now say Columbus is not a great man. He went to oppress. So when you're hearing the word Columbus in their words, you know it's about colonization, it's about exploitation. So these are the words he said. These are the words of Marco Rubio. By 1945, for the first time since the age of Columbus, it was contracting. The great Western empires had entered. So they are worried about its contraction, had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist revolutions. No, none of the sort. There's nothing to do with that. You see, they're trying to deflect. The empire is collapsing in on itself. It has nothing to do with communism. They're trying to, you see, imperialists suffer from something that many people will know as, they call it, it's called cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah, we were taught lies, exactly. We must take our power back because this universe does not belong to the colonizers only. This world belongs to us as well. Thank you very much. I love that. I love those statements. Synovia, sorry. Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. So our role is to teach, to expand our mind, to remove that brainwashing that that they've in place in our mind since we were young. Many of us were conditioned to never question the world around us, but to simply accept our role in it. Let me say that again. Many of us have simply been conditioned to accept the world around us, and not to question anything about it, but to simply accept our role in it. That is brainwashing. You're not able to think outside of that box. And that platforms like mine are designed to get us to think outside of the box so that we can begin to do the work that we need to do to free ourselves and support the likes of Ibrahim Traore of Burkina Faso, General Chiani of Niger, and General Assimi Goïta of Mali in freeing Africa from bondage. Please tap and share, grow the platform. We welcome super chats and gifts. Please help us on this platform to grow, because there is a lot of work that we want to do. We want to break free from the bondage that we have collectively been placed under by the imperialists. Okay, so now, so the Great Western Empires had entered into terminal decline, accelerated by godless communist position and by anti-colonial uprisings. You go anti-colonial, so they are proud of colonization. So this guy is proud of colonization. So you expect us to bow down? Oh, thy master, we are not worthy. Come, take my land, take my people, take my woman, and I will serve thee for perpetuity. Really? I think you better wake up. Yeah. And that is cognitive, the very cognitive dissonance that we talk about. And I speak about this clearly. There are people in Europe that are against this. There are ordinary people in Europe that are against this kind of imperialist thinking. And it goes against everything they know. But many of them are waking up, you know. I remember asking questions in church, and I was looked at as I was the enemy. I left and started doing my own research and found out the truth about religion. Wow. 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 Fantastic. That is what I'm engaged. This is the very thing I want you to do. I don't want anybody to take. Thank you again, Synovia Ridley. Thank you. I don't want anybody to take my word for it. I encourage you to get curious about the world around you. I promise you, everything you've ever been taught are a pack of lies. Everything that you have ever been taught by this system is a pack of lies. And unless you begin to get inquisitive, get your children to question. And when the children, one of the things is, when you're a child, you notice before you go into the church, the kids are asking questions. But when you start going to the church and to the mosque, they just start taking in. It's like they've shut down their ability to analyze, to research the world around them. That is where the brainwashing begins. In the churches, in the Sunday schools, and in the mosques. That is where the brainwashing begins. So they are tools of oppression, but they are dressed up as, oh, things to save your soul. And they are not. That is why we're saying, please, it is time to work with platforms like mine. Subscribe. Help us grow the platform. Help us reach more people. We really need your support. I know my platform is being restricted somewhat on TikTok, but that's fine. I've got about another half an hour or so before I have a little break, and I might come back later on. But I want to crack on a bit more with this topic here. Now, I want to just say, let me say this words here. So you heard them say this stuff about their decline. Well, the reason why the West is declining is because the entire world now knows that all they are doing, their propaganda, their lies, and the pure lies about democracy, or that they care about the countries that they go into. It's all been exposed. Religion has been used to brainwash our mind. Education has been used to disempower us and keep many global south countries subservient to them. They've been exploiting our resources, taking our resources on the cheap. They've been enslaving our people. You know, even the economy, the financial economy, IMF, World Bank, designed to oppress and suppress. They charge high interest rate. They are rent seeking from the people from a land that they don't even own. They seek rent on such land. The audacity, the incredulity of their actions, and then to even have the temerity to speak up for such immoral act is breathtaking. It is simply breathtaking. And we speak truth to power on this platform because we can no longer, as a people, accept this. And we are leaving information on the media platforms, in the media space, for the coming generation, so that we will be a reference point of the steps they need to take and the things they need to be aware of, should in case they somehow prevent us from reaching our goal in the short term. But I know that right for now, the Western economy, the Western the imperialism is collapsing in on itself. The currency is no longer able to sustain itself because it has been using and forcing. And here, get this: if you say if you are preaching democracy, why are you forcing countries around the world to use only your currency? I'd like to know that. Why force countries around the world to only use your currency? And when they use your currency, you now use the same currency to sanction them, i.e. Iran, i.e. Russia, i.e. China, so on. So the entire strategy of imperialism is oppression, subjugation, exploitation, and domination. And this can no longer continue. So this is why the Western hegemony is collapsing in on itself. Let's make the AES, let me go on a pilgrimage site. I'm going to bring you in if you wanted to speak, if you want to speak on this. I'm quite happy for that. Yes, greetings, African Revolution. Yes, let us make them aside. We should do that. And we're working on that. And please, anybody who wants to join me, if you are in diaspora, I'm currently trying to organize a trip to go, 20 of us, to go down to Burkina Faso and reach. I have contacts on ground that can assist in getting us around. All we just need is to do this to make sure that we can get the funds together for the trip, and we will set everything up, and we will be in touch with you, and we will give you costings and things, and of course the support. But of course, I need you to be able to do this continuously. I need your support in subscribing to my platforms on a regular basis, so that way I can focus on just making sure that we organize the trip, all the planning around it, and the people that will be meeting on ground. All of that will be in place. We do have contacts on ground that are able to help us. It's not just hearsay. We have people who are quite close with the people in government who will make sure that we have a great time, because we are not only it's not about just going to Africa. It's about going to a new Africa where we are building something that will be long lasting for the coming generation. I agree with you. Synovia Ridley. Remember asking questions in church? Yeah, okay, exactly. Can't call in now. I'm on my way to plan. Okay, don't worry. No. Text me. That's fine. Listen, have a great day at work, and thank you for joining. I really appreciate you. And please, everybody watching, I really urge you, subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. By you subscribing, it would be of a great help. And the more you share the broadcast, the more it will reach more people. So thank you very much to Synovia for your commitment, for your supporting this platform, and for being keen to go with this platform to go to Burkina Faso. So we're going to be taking the steps, and we'll talk some more about the steps we're taking around that, and we'll be giving you more information about how the planning around that. We want to go with at least 20 people to Burkina Faso, all who are going to be members of this great platform of ours, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. So really keen for us to share that information. Now, let me quickly read a bit more on this for you. Now, the other thing I want to emphasize, we want allies who can defend themselves, so that no adversary will ever be tempted to test our collective strength. That is why we do not want our allies to be shackled by guilt or shame. So imperialists don't want to think about the guilt or the shame of their actions. They only want to continue to get to force people they took land from, people they enslaved, people they exploited, people they dominated by force, to continue to bow to them. But they don't want their conscience to look them in the eye and say, do you think the right thing? Do you think you did the right thing? Did you do the right thing here? They don't want to think about that. So they want them to just proceed, continue on the same, and not look back and see the devastation they caused to untold amount of kingdoms and indigenous people, starting with the Aborigines of Australia, the people, the native people in America, Africans, you know, it's, yeah, I can go on. Anyway, so the next bit I'm going to read up now is, of course, they even have the temerity. They say uprisings that would transform the world. So they are clearly afraid. The great Western empires had entered to terminal decline. But anyway, let's read on. So the bit I want to read to you now is we want allies that are proud of the culture and their heritage, who understand that we are heirs to the same great and noble civilization. So a civilization that has engaged in for half a century in exploitation, oppression, suppression, enslavement, and domination using colonization is the one that you should be proud of. Okay, well, each to his own. You know, I would not be singing all of this now because the whole world is rejecting it. The dollar is crashing heavily, by the way, heavily. Let me see one more thing. So, so we're together, and it says here, who we are heirs to the same great noble civilization, who together with us are willing to and able to defend it. So they intend to continue that exploitation. They want to recolonize and then defend that colonization and oppression of the people that they enslaved. No. Yeah, I'm good. So let me just make sure so now here's the bit, one final bit that I'm going to read here. Issa, thank you very much for that. I hope I'm sure I think we're following each other. Yeah, we are. Okay, so if anybody in the background, let me just check. I've not even looked. I've just been busy during the discussion. I've been limited severely because every time I speak about Western economy, the TikTok don't like me speaking, but we are going to speak our truth to power. We're not going to be allowed to. We're not going to allow them to silence us. We can't do that. We cannot. And that's why we need our own social media space. We need our own journalism and our own news letter. We need our own, mainstream media. Africa's mainstream media that will speak for Africans, and champion Africa and all things African. Now, finally, it says here, an alliance ready to defend our people, to safeguard our interests, and preserve the freedom of action that allows us to shape our own destiny. When they say freedom of action, they mean they want to continue in the exploitation of the indigenous people that they have been doing for over 500 years. So that's why you see, you have to read between the lines. It says here, to preserve the freedom of the action that allows us to shape our own destiny. Yeah, we will not be silenced. Absolutely, we will not be silenced. Our own destiny. Not one that exists to operate a global welfare state. The global welfare state. You have been the ones going around colonizing and taking and stealing and pillaging from indigenous people. They didn't ask you to come to the land. You went with your doctrine, which I am, again, saying to you. Never forget. Please, I want you all to know that name. Pope Nicholas VI. Pope Nicholas VI. And here's the doctrine, and here's the document. That's the document. Let me see. That is the document right there. You see? That's the document signed by the Pope Nicholas. And that is the single document that you can see, that you can trace the very actions of Marco Rubio to the foundations, which is this Pope Nicholas VI, of oppression, exploitation, and imperialism. This document here says the doctrine was set out in a series of declarations by Pope in the 15th century. These declarations, known as papal bulls, provided religious authority for Christian empires to invade and subjugate non-Christian lands, people, and sovereign nations, impose Christianity on these populations, and claim their resources. These paper bulls were written at a time when European empires were embarking on a wide-scale colonial expansion, which they want to continue with, as you see with Marco Rubio. They intend to, they have no intention of stopping. And I hope many African leaders, please share this to, if you have access to African leaders, share this to them. This doctrine of discovery is the same policy they started all the way in 1543, I think it is, 15th century, 1463, until date. It remains the single policy. It has not changed for 500 years, and it will not change. So we are not going to be silent. We're not going to accept this. Thank you very much for listening to me. I'm going to have a little bit of a break. I hope you found this information beneficial. Please do me one favor. Everybody that watched me on this platform, on both platforms, ensure you subscribe to Citizen NY. Help us grow the platform. Super chats are welcome. We welcome gifts. Help us share this broadcast. Pass this message on to your fellow Africans and Black Americans and Aborigines and all melanated people around, and Caribbeans. We need to work relentlessly together. We need to ensure we empower ourselves. Thank you very much, Sinovia Ridley. Thank you to my brothers, Konete King. Thank you to African Revolution. Thank you to many of you that have joined the broadcast today. And Nana Yo Apia, thank you very much. I want to thank every one of you. And like I said, Bobby Dankwa, thank you very much. Let me just see if I got you there. I think I'm following you. I'm going to make sure I am. Yeah, we are following each other. Many names. Cheyi, thank you very much. African comedian, thank you very much. Michael, others, thank you. Thank you all so very much. It's been a pleasure. I'll be back again later on. Please don't forget, we are aiming to go to Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. We'll be organizing the trips. I'll be giving you updates of how that progresses. But in the meantime, consider subscribing to Citizen NY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Certainly on YouTube. We want to get to 10,000 followers. We are currently 6,700 and something. We want to get to 10,000 subscribers. On Facebook, please also subscribe to us. On TikTok, subscribe to us as well. About 43,000 followers on there. All of this is geared towards doing one thing: to continue to give you information such as we're doing deep dives into information that we receive about the imperialists and their actions, and how, peace and love to us all. I share. Thank you very much for that. Thank you. So we need to continue to bring all of this important information to make sure that we expand our thinking. We no longer accept the imperialist perspective. Everything that they've told us about us has been their perspective and not our own reality as an African. As Africans, as Black Americans, as Aboriginals, all of that. We need to have independent thinking, independent thought process. So the platforms like mine is geared to really getting us to think outside of the box that they placed our minds in and free ourselves, So it is time to wake up, Fela, I will sing a line of Fela, the song that I like, a great African leader, a great singer, and like a true Pan-Africanist, shall I say. And he sings this song, he sings it like this: every day my people, they inside church suffering, and then they sleep, then they wake like up. Every day not the same thing. Every day not the same thing. Suffer for what amen. Enjoy for heaven, amen. Christians go the yak, in spirit to Sevinos. Muslims go the yak, Allahu Akbar. Open your eyes everywhere. Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na gbaladun. Archbishop na miliki, Pope na enjoyment, Imam na gbaladun. So I'll carry on. The point I'm making is that they've used this religion to close your mind. And just as Fela has been singing about, it is still relevant today. It is now the onus on us all collectively to please share this knowledge that we're now acquiring and then waking us all as a collective. You see, we are very powerful collectively. When we do things individually, it doesn't go very far. That's not our nature. We have the force in ether via our collective communication to change, to bring about a better world purely by our free thinking of the one single thing: freedom for minority people around the world, freedom for Africa, freedom for Black Americans, freedom for Aboriginals. That thinking will bring to life the very thing that they don't want to happen, which is freedom and indigenous people getting back their lands. So it requires our unity. So thank you very much. I'll stop here for now. You've been listening to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth power. Thank you for joining. We welcome gifts and super chats, and of course, subscribe to the platforms, Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. For now, I say bye for now. Thank you and bye. Bye, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'll be back later on. Thank you. Exactly. They don't want us to come together. Exactly. And we must come together. We must. Thank you and bye. Bye now, Sinovia. Get in touch. Do leave a comment on the number, and I will get back in touch with you. And those of us, please remember, we're planning the trip to go to Burkina Faso, Somalia, and Niger. We would like about between 20 and 30 people to come on this trip. So please, let's begin. I will give you an update on how that goes. Thank you and bye for now. Bye, guys. Bye all. Bye.